The world's most evil company. Let's get into it.
The world's most evil companies are hiding in plain sight. Some build their empires with child slaves. Others are watching you as we speak.
Now, I want to start off with the fact that out of all these evil companies, I did consume McDonald's the most. I don't know what type of meat that shit is. That shit's definitely fake. But I don't know what it is. It's just good though. I don't know how to explain it. It's unknown meat, but it's good.
And one is literally in your blood. But don't worry.
Are you suggesting human trials for the meat? You know what I'm saying?
Because in this video, you'll see what the worst of these organizations have been doing behind the scenes, all to find out what is the most evil company. Starting with the largest.
Bro, a lot of things you really don't want to look up how it was made. Starting off with hot dogs. You don't want to, just don't look up how hot dogs are made. You'll never consume a hot dog again. Ever since I looked up a hot dog and how it was made, I never consumed one after that.
Athletic brand in the world, Nike, in the 1970s started.
Nike? I thought we was talking about fast food. What Nike got going on? I just had on Nike socks a couple minutes ago.
Making use of factories in Asia where workers were paid 14 cents an hour, exposed to incredibly toxic fumes, and physically and verbally abused. Nike initially brushed off these issues until a 4K image of a 12-year-old Pakistani boy sewing Nike soccer balls sparked public outrage. Facing a tanking reputation, Nike apologized and announced.
So they were doing child labor as well as paying severely underpaying them with 14 cents an hour. That's just not covering your average anything, bro. It's not. I tried to find something to compare that to. That's not covering anything, bro. Maybe like, bro, 5 hours of work. Maybe okay. Let's do the average hours of work. 8 hours of work would get you literally nothing in today's society. Yeah, literally not. Almost not. I don't even think even $1, bro. That's not even $1. Not even 50 cents. I don't think. If my math is correct.
They would be fixing their labor practices, but to this day, they still just haven't stopped doing it. But is a little slave labor really that bad compared to...
Now, talk about modern day slavery, bro. Look no further than Amazon warehouse. Now, I have a couple homeboys that do that Amazon warehouse shit. That shit is miserable, bro. That shit, you're definitely working your life away. And respect to you if you do that, bro, because that shit is hard. That shit is grueling work, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Something with the most hardest jobs ever.
Companies who have killed millions caused.
If you don't move those boxes with efficiency, you're literally finished, bro.
Drug crises and even tried to destroy the planet. So to find the most evil company ever, let's get even worse with a brand you've probably drank before. In 1886, an American Civil War veteran was looking to find a substitute for his morphine addiction. So he mixed together cocaine,
Morphine? What does morphine do to you for you to get addicted to that? What does that do to you?
Caffeine and sugar syrup into a drink he called Coca-Cola.
Seedance 2.0 is now on Artlist, and you can get precisely what you want.
I'll take a robbery.
It was marketed.
Now, something that about Coca-Cola that made me stop drinking it is that, like, bro, it literally is like one of the like leading factors for obesity. That shit alone made me want to stop drinking Coke. I'm gonna be honest.
As a cure for headaches and fatigue. It definitely cured fatigue, but sadly in 1904, facing public and regulatory pressure, Coke had to stop using actual Coke in their formula, and human
They was actually using Coke in their shit? No way. No, that's crazy, bro.
Activity has never recovered.
I feel like I've heard that before, though. I actually feel like I've heard that before. So it might not be surprising news completely, but the fact that that's confirmation right there, that's crazy.
But as health sciences improved in the 1960s, Coke had a bigger problem. How do you get a health-conscious world to buy canned diabetes? Well, if you're Coke, the answer is spend millions of dollars funding corrupt health organizations to push the narrative that obesity is just caused by a lack of exercise. Lobby against.
Bro, that's actually elaborate as hell. The fact that people genuinely drink this shit on a daily basis, which I used to as well, it's concerning because there's no factors that can help you like in a healthy life with drinking Coke every day. It's just that I figured that shit out for myself. That shit is so bad for you, as well as any dark soda. But like Coke is just so bad for you, literally in every aspect.
against dietary guidelines and sugar taxes, then sponsor the Olympics and professional athletes to subconsciously make your products appear more healthy. Tell the world you don't advertise to children, then popularize Santa Claus with your marketing and put vending machines in elementary schools. Then to boost your profits, outsource to bottling plants that assassinate union members and drain entire towns' water supplies. Coca-Cola's devious tactics have made them the largest beverage brand on the planet, giving out 2 billion servings a day, and human arteries have never recovered.
I never really understood, like, is this like planted by the government? Like, why would somebody want to distribute essentially like poison to the community? Why would they want to do that? I know for money, but like, is it worth it? Like, can you really sleep at night knowing that you're just poisoning millions of people?
But this next company kills you a lot faster than sugar. Boeing. When developing the 737 MAX, realized the plane would tilt upward during takeoff, so they used a software called MCAS to automatically push the tilting plane back down. But adding this system would require extra pilot training, which would be expensive and time-consuming. So to avoid all that, Boeing didn't tell anyone about it, including the pilots.
It's still a mystery tonight what caused this brand new plane to crash into the ocean.
The pilots of Lion Air Flight 610 fought a tug-of-war battle with the plane's computer, finally losing the battle as the plane slammed into the ocean at 450 miles per hour.
After the crash of Lion Air Flight 610, the regulators conducted a risk assessment that estimated there would be 15 more 737 MAX crashes if MCAS wasn't fixed. They didn't release this report. Instead, they sent out a brief memo to pilots with no mention of MCAS and kept the planes in the air. 5 months later, another 737 MAX crashed in the exact same way. The planes were then banned from flying, and Boeing had 346 deaths on their hands.
Damn. Now that's one thing that you really don't play with, especially because of the I think Spirit Airlines got shut down not too long ago. Like, bro, airplanes is a dangerous game. Like, even though it's like theoretically, by the numbers, the most safe way to travel. But I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about planes. Like, so much shit can go wrong during a plane or like any type of transportation in general. And we're seeing that with the hantavirus on that Caribbean boat. Like, y'all all seeing this unfold right before our eyes. We're getting new spawn variants of viruses as we speak. Like, bro, all this shit is just crazy, bro.
Their market value dropped by 25%. They were fined
Yeah, no shit. But they're just fucking killing people, dude. That's terrible, bro.
$2.5 billion for damages and fraud. Their CEO got fired, of course with a little parting gift, and Boeing promised a new commitment to safety. By 2020, the 737 MAX was back in the skies, and 4 years later, a door blew off.
Yeah, bro. Nuke the entire operation. Nuke the entire the company. Come on, bro. A door, dude? What do they have? Injection? Like, come on, bro. Injection, what is it called? Emergency time injection seats? Are you serious?
Luckily, no one was sitting by the door, so there.
Yo, that's lucky as fuck. I was just about to say that, bro. Imagine if somebody was sitting right there and they don't have their seatbelt on. They're just fucking getting eviscerated by the air current, bro. Just getting taken by the wind instantly.
Were no fatalities.
Which is not funny. It's just, that's exactly what would happen.
With the exception of Boeing's reputation. Their promise of a new commitment to safety fell apart when investigations found the door had been installed with no bolts. Boeing's horrendous
I'm not even gonna say anything.
quality control, like using Dawn dish soap as lubricant, hotel key cards to check seals, and scrapped parts as replacements on real aircrafts, began getting exposed by whistleblower after whistleblower, a suspicious amount of whom are now dead. Huh. The whole reason Boeing cut corners was to try and make more money to beat their main competitor. They ended up killing hundreds of people, losing billions of dollars, and getting beaten by that competitor. So Boeing screwed themselves in every possible way, except for their doors. But let's get even more evil with a company that just might play a role in your entire life.
In the next 5 seconds, you'll see an idea go from sketch to clay to shape.
I have to get an ad blocker, bro.
website.
I'm gonna get one next video.
Acting on
You're
your
around.
curiosity.
You're born, and your first meal is a bottle of baby formula. As a kid, your favorite treats become Kit Kats and Crunch Bars. At home, you eat Hot Pockets.
Now, as someone without a kid, I never knew how much like money you needed to buy formula, bro. It's actually expensive as fuck. Formula is genuinely expensive. I didn't know it was that expensive. For some, like, at that point, The cheaper option is just breastfeeding, bro. Yeah, at that point, you just got to go ahead and just do that, bro. Real talk.
And drink Poland Spring, or Pure Life, or Pellegrino, depending on your parents' socioeconomic status. As you get older and find your first job, you survive off instant coffee and lean cuisine. Then on your deathbed, you get your choice of feeding tube mixes. Nutrin, Complete, Peptamen, then you die. And Nestle loses a lifetime customer. Nestle is the world's biggest alleged food company, and they're well known for being comedically evil. You might have heard of their extensive use of child labor. In 2001, the US tried to fight back against this by making a law that required slave labor labeling on chocolate wrappers. But Nestle and their cronies lobbied it out of existence. They instead pinky promised to phase out child labor by 2005. After missing that deadline,
that's the year I was born. Just a fun fact.
They delayed it to 2008, then 2010. Then 2020, they'll get to it one day. You might have heard of Nestle draining water from water-struggling communities using cheaper expired permits, then selling it back to them in overpriced plastic. But
that's evil as fuck. They're essentially just taking their water and just literally just redistributing back to them. That's fucked, dude.
Nestle's most evil tactic began in the 1970s. In order to expand the market for their baby formula, they sent saleswomen dressed as nurses to developing countries to promote the product as a superior alternative to old-fashioned breast milk. Not only was this not true, but formula has to be mixed with water, and Nestle was promoting in places where water was contaminated. Nestle targeted these families with free samples that lasted just long enough for the mother to lose her ability to produce breast milk, leaving her no choice but to
use the... That is genuinely evil. Like, bro, no, that's genuinely evil. They're literally baiting them into having to use their product. So once they lose their breast milk, they have to essentially just keep on buying the product until, like, you know what I'm saying? They have to buy it. Like, bro, that's terrible, bro. That's genuinely terrible.
Continue buying the formula. What resulted was a massive amount of breastfed babies switching to formula and getting sick. It's estimated that Nestle's campaign caused over 10 million deaths, but something a lot stranger happened in China. In 2008, the Sanlu Group secretly added a chemical called melamine to their baby formula to boost its protein count.
No, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of Chinese brands look like it doesn't look appetizing to me. It just looks different, dude. Like I can never, like, a lot of these things that I see from Chinese like places, like it's definitely because I'm American. But if I walked into China, most of these stuff, like, I wouldn't know what it is, and that's not just because of the wording. Like, I genuinely wouldn't know what this stuff is because the wrapper and the advertising, the way they advertise is just so much different from us. So if I saw a regular can of beans, they would make it look so abstract that I wouldn't even know what the beans were. Like, I would just be like, bro, what is this? And I would just be, I don't know, I'm speaking a whole lot of nothing, low key.
This contaminated formula caused health problems for over 300,000 children in China, and 6 of them died. But unlike Nestle, the Sanlu executives faced criminal punishment. Some of them were sent to prison, but 2 of them were sentenced to death. After getting millions in compensation claims from victims, Sanlu declared bankruptcy and was fully dissolved. Nestle caused much more damage, but their alleged food company is still thriving. Nestle is a strong candidate for the most evil company ever, but this next company is evil for a very different reason. After 9/11, the United States launched the biggest mass surveillance program in history. It was called Total Information Awareness, and it was made to collect and monitor everyone's private data with the goal of finding terrorists before they could act. But after public protest, it was shut down in 2003, and the US narrowly avoided becoming a dystopian surveillance state. A few months later, 2 guys founded Palantir. One of those guys was PayPal billionaire Peter Thiel.
You would prefer the human race to endure.
Yo, that guy owes PayPal? It's so many, like, bro, is this just me or like owners / CEOs are like the most awkward people ever? Like, bro, not too long ago, there's this place that my girlfriend lives by, and the owner of this so-called rat place sold his company, then saw that it was doing good, so he made his own company again, replicated the raps he was making at the old company that's going good now, and called it and named it after himself. We went in there and we wanted to get a rap because it was from him himself. He's the originator of those raps that we go to at the other popular place. And bro, I was asking for a rap, and he's the most soft-spoken person that I've ever heard in my entire life. I said, "Can I get some toppings?" He said, What happens, D1? What happens, D1? Yeah, okay. One chips. Like, he's the most soft-spoken person that I've ever known in my entire life, dude. Like, it's just crazy how these people become CEOs or / business owners.
Right?
The other guy was philosophy major Alex Karp.
I spent a lot of time talking to Nazis, like real Nazis.
After getting
Like, bro, what is he talking about? What is he talking about? What is he talking about? Talking about Nazis, bro. What? What?
funding from the CIA, they would end up building Palantir into one of the most controversial companies ever.
Our product is used on occasion to kill people.
This is being honest. I truly can't even blame, bro. At least he's being honest.
So, what does Palantir actually do?
That's the one. So if you're new to CoProducer, you could really type in anything that...
Large companies, as well as countries, collect a lot of data on their customers. So much data that they can't make any sense of it. This is where Palantir comes in. They'll analyze all that data with AI and put it into one platform designed to help make actionable decisions. It's been used on everything, from helping allocate resources after disasters or during pandemics, to optimizing the Wendy's supply chain, to spying on employees at JP Morgan, to workplace deportations and predictive policing. But if you happen to have an all-powerful tool that will analyze an infinite amount of personal data, you could also use it
To scare enemies and on occasion kill them. Put the fear of like death into our adversary.
Yo, I appreciate the transparency, but to openly admit this is absolutely ridiculous. Like, that could be a marketing scheme, and it probably did work, but shit, I've never heard of Palantir. I've never heard of this. So, did it really work? I'm not saying I speak for the entire universe or the Earth itself, but have you ever heard of Palantir?
At any random moment. Why do we wait till our enemies attack?
They need to wake up scared and go to bed scared. Something really bad is going to happen to you and your friends and your cousins.
We'll go after your assets, we'll go after everything, we'll keep on going for generations.
Palantir's biggest market is war. In the US, they get paid billions of dollars.
Okay, it makes sense. That makes sense. That's probably why the general public hasn't heard of that. Okay, that makes sense. It's for war. That makes more sense.
To make the American warfighter fight the way they were born to fight. In Ukraine, they handed over the kill chain, a software that handles everything from finding a target to destroying it. With Israel, Palantir helps power the military's war machine. Their work is very secretive, but we do know that they're pretty good pals.
Mostly terrorists, that's true.
Palantir is just a tool. All it
Yo, bro was not afraid to admit that shit. he's like, yeah, bro. I'm offing people with this.
does is analyze other people's data, but the strength of this tool and how it can be used give it a concerning level of influence.
Our primary mission is, in fact, to set a global standard for the world for behavior.
Palantir pretty much markets itself as evil, but another company you would never expect is even worse. In 1899, two banana businessmen merged together to form the United Fruit Company. Their first course of action was conquering Central America. They bought up land, built entire towns, and took control of infrastructure in places like Guatemala, Honduras, and Colombia in order to exploit their populations for banana production. These pimped out countries became known as banana republics. Conditions for workers.
Yo, is that connected to the clothing brand Banana Republic? Is that connected? I'm pretty sure it is.
Obviously sucked, so in 1928 they went on strike with a list of demands. United Fruit refused to negotiate and instead went over to their boy the United States, and they were like, we're in trouble. Our workers are revolting. They want us to pay them in money instead of coupons and get a 6-day work week instead of 7. Dang, we'd love to help you, but we're a bit preoccupied with rich white people activities. So if you'll excuse me— Wait! They're communists.
Hey. Now, I don't really be getting into that political shit, but that shit was funny, bro. That shit was funny, bro. Did the U.S. really hate communists that much? I don't know my history like that. They really hated. They was really sliding like that over communists. That's crazy work, bro. Victor Royale is absolutely devious. That's diabolical. Come on, bro. Hey, you're wrong for that, bro.
After indirectly rampaging their own workers, the United Fruit Company did it again. But this time, they got the US to overthrow the Guatemalan government and replace the leader they didn't like with a dictator who assassinated a bunch of people. Then he got assassinated, and Guatemala went into a 36-year-long civil war that killed almost 200,000 people. Dang. We'd love to help them, but we're a bit preoccupied with bananas. United Fruit would later rebrand to Chiquita Banana, leaning into the friendlier theme to distract you from their country-destroying imperialism. Chiquita has generally stayed out of trouble, only doing small things here and there, like giving millions of dollars to paramilitary terrorist organizations. But banana companies aren't the only ones messing with entire countries. When Facebook went public in 2012, almost everyone with internet was already on there.
Yo, I had just hopped on Facebook. Now I'm like really heavy on Facebook. I use Facebook now all the time. Like not all the time, but like I post on there. So like I didn't really realize how many people are using Facebook. Like people actually use Facebook, dude. Like I didn't know that until I used it myself. I thought it was just for unks, aunties, and all of the above. Anything above unk and above, I thought that's the only people that was using it. Everybody uses Facebook. I didn't know that.
Platform. They needed a new way to expand, and Zuck had the perfect idea.
Imagine being able to build an app
Yo,
with your
I'm
name
tired
on
of these
it,
fucking
just
ads.
by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
He started Internet.org, which would bring internet to developing countries through Facebook products. His new customer acquisition conquest began in Zambia, then the Philippines, India, Colombia, Myanmar. Wait, what? There's a problem in India. Like a serious problem. They're using Facebook to spread fake images claiming that Buddhists are massacring Muslims and it's leading to riots where people are dying. Oh no. Keep going. Expansion continued until Facebook had...
Yo, Mark. Hey, what's his name? Mark Zuckerberg, bro. He didn't give a fuck, bro. He didn't give no fucks. He didn't give absolutely any fucks, bro. That's terrible.
conquered 100 million new users. But this is where things started falling apart. See, Facebook's moderation technology didn't work properly with different languages, and their moderation teams were incredibly understaffed and clueless about local culture. This lack of oversight led to Facebook becoming a propaganda tool for dictators in places like the Philippines and Cambodia. The Sri Lankan government accused Facebook of failing to control posts that contributed to deadly riots. Same with Ethiopia. And in Myanmar, Facebook played a determining role in a genocide, according to the UN. Facebook themselves admit they didn't do enough to protect their foreign colonies, but the bigger problem is that their entire platform rewards the most harmful misinformation, and leaked documents show Zuck rejecting potential fixes to this problem because they would reduce user engagement.
Facebook.
That boy care about his engagement, even if that's the cost of the universe. Bros, Mark is gonna get his engagement. Damn near, he's gonna get his engagement every single time. If you're looking at this Mark Zuckerberg, which I doubt it, but if you are, you know what I'm saying? Keep getting your engagement, bro. That's crazy work, bro.
Has realized if they change the algorithm to be safer, they'll make less money.
Facebook claims their goal is to bring the world closer together, but reckless expansion and an engagement at all costs approach has in many cases brought the world further apart. But to answer the question of the most evil company, there's an entire sector we need to look at. Oil companies. Here's what they're up to. Shell ravaged the country of Nigeria by supporting violent militaries and introducing the population to flavored water. BP caused the biggest oil spill in US history when their rig exploded in the Gulf of Mexico. But the worst oil company ever spawned into existence in 1911 when Rockefeller's Standard...
Yo, if I didn't peep that $2.99 a couple seconds ago, bro, this shit was like gold to my eyes. Whatever the equivalent of music to my ears is, this shit was gold to my eyes.
BP caused the biggest oil spill in US history when their rig exploded in the Gulf of Mexico. But the worst...
that shit is beautiful, dude. 259, bro, we'll never see that shit again. Never. We'll never see that again, bro. That shit got me reminiscing, bro.
Oil company ever spawned into existence in 1911 when Rockefeller's Standard Oil got split into 34 pieces. A few of those pieces merged together to form Exxon, which later merged into ExxonMobil. They're now the biggest US-based oil company, producing 3% of the world's petroleum, and they are everything wrong with the industry. They of course have sketchy relations to overseas abuse, as well as their own historic oil spill, where they fought against paying out penalties for 14 years. But Exxon's greatest evil affects the entire planet, because back in the 70s, they conducted internal research that found burning fossil fuels was influencing the global climate in ways that would be potentially catastrophic and irreversible. Having a product that's actively cooking the earth is a big problem. For the marketing department, Exxon proceeded to spend millions of dollars in support of climate change denial. They funded science-denying front groups and bought an advertisement in the New York Times every week for 30 years to mislead people on the studies they themselves conducted. Exxon's early predictions of global warming ended up being more accurate than NASA's, but they weren't in the business of working towards a fix.
How was that possible? That they got more accurate readings than the company that actually specializes in it. What?
Exxon's especially evil because they put the planet on the line, but so did another company.
Something wrong with this guy.
What's going on with that damn cow? That's a cow, right? Little bro drooling out the mouth. Either bro getting that, you know what I'm saying? He getting that yeah, or he's, you know what I'm saying, or he's tweaking. The hell going on with that cow?
Al, and they keep trying to tell me there's nothing
The hell?
wrong with these things.
In 1998, a farmer in West Virginia noticed his animals dying from disturbing symptoms. This farmer happened to live near a landfill for the chemical company DuPont. He hired a lawyer who took legal action against the company, demanding internal documents. They sent back 110,000 pages, just to be annoying. But the lawyer read through all of it, and what he found was more disturbing than what anyone could have imagined. In 1938, a DuPont chemist accidentally discovered an impossibly slippery substance. They called it Teflon, and they sold it to the world as a miracle non-stick coating. Soon, it was in nearly every kitchen in America. In order to create Teflon, DuPont used another chemical called PFOA. This stuff doesn't naturally break down. It's pretty much indestructible. It's a forever chemical.
Well, hell no, that's fucking dangerous. Anything that can literally live forever or sustain itself forever or sustain its normal form forever should not exist. That shit is a curse.
DuPont was slightly concerned about this, so they began conducting internal studies. What they found was that PFOA would kill animals in a single dose, was linked to birth defects and cancer in humans, and was highly toxic. When these results were shown to the execs, they were like, "Dear God, we can't have our chemicals killing people. I know it's terrible. I didn't finish my sentence. We can't have our chemicals killing people, getting in the way of our business." What?
Buddy's a troll.
Parents of children who play Roblox. If your child was sexually exploited, abused, or pressured,
don't release any of these studies publicly, and don't tell the regulators. We're making $1 billion a year in profit from this. It's too risky for us to stop. Plus, I think we'll be fine. I mean, it's not like we're dumping this stuff into the environment. DuPont was dumping so much.
Isn't that what they're doing?
Much of this stuff into the environment that they had lost track of how much they had dumped. They were doing all of this despite being clearly warned not to, and it was this dumping that killed the livestock in West Virginia, which resulted in the lawsuit that exposed everything. DuPont had to pay hundreds of millions of dollars in settlements, and they began phasing out these chemicals, but it was too late. 99% of people on Earth now have forever chemicals, or PFAS, in their blood, thanks to DuPont and a few of their business pals.
Are you serious? So I had that shit in my veins right now? Man, fuck you, PFAS. Come on, bro. Oh, whoever made this shit. I got PFAS in my chemicals now, bro. Or my blood, I mean. I got PFAS in my blood because of you. I forgot the name of the place already. I called them PFAS. I'm tripping. But I got PFAS in my shit because somebody was stupid enough to dump this into the atmosphere? Are you serious, bro? This is the equivalent of Adam and Eve creating the first original sin. Now we gotta deal with it. Come on, bro.
Most people have levels that are of lower concern, but millions have amounts that put them at a higher risk of cancer and other complications. Forever chemicals are decreasing in use, but they remain a problem. And because so many regulators have ties to chemical companies like DuPont, they might be sticking around. But this next company also messes with our health in a more evil way. Imagine there's a button. Every time you click it, you make $10,000.
It's really crazy how you think about that. Most cancers are caused by man-made actions. Like yes, there's a handful of cancers that can be caused genetically, and you're predetermined genetically to have those cancers. But a good handful of them are made because somebody was stupid, bro. Like that's what really makes me mad.
But a random person dies. What would you do? A normal person would get hesitant. A health insurance company would get an auto clicker. See, for United Healthcare, this isn't a random button. It's a denial button. And it's not hurting random people. It's hurting people who've been paying United thousands of dollars a year for insurance, under the promise that when they get sick, United will cover their expensive medical care.
Oh, hell no. So this is a damn near a United Insurance Healthcare rug pull. There's no way. Are you serious, bro? They're taking their cheese, and then when it's time to come up to bat, they ain't giving nothing back. That's crazy.
This auto clicker also exists in real life. It's called NH Predict. It's an AI tool that automatically rejects people's requests for medical treatment with an alleged 90% error rate. Armed with this tool, United is infamous for its denials.
So they're making false errors so they can get away with basically essentially theft. That's crazy, bro.
The most cited number is that they deny 33% of treatment requests, but this was based on pretty incomplete data. United doesn't release their actual numbers, and they tell employees not to answer questions about their decision making, so we don't have much information. But we do know that 1 in 3 doctors have seen insurance delays lead to a serious adverse event, anything from hospitalization to death, with many doctors complaining specifically about United.
You have a life-threatening condition, you have insurance, it should be covered, period. Yep. And they are fighting it with technicalities. This is United Healthcare.
Apart from denying to do the one thing they promised to do, United also gives secret bonuses to try and keep patients out of hospitals, because each hospital visit costs them money. United claims this prevents unnecessary care, while whistleblowers say it puts elderly patients in danger. But United is much more than an insurance company. See, ever since 2011, insurers have been required by law to spend 85% of the money they collect from customers on their actual medical care. So United does actually pay out a majority of their revenue on treatment requests. But
Okay. At least they have some positives.
They're okay with this, because in many cases, they own the hospitals that get the money. United is affiliated with 10% of all the doctors in the US, and their pharmacy company controls 20% of the market.
So they're just ruling everything, dude. That shouldn't be allowed, should it? For the healthcare insurance company to own the actual hospital?
So United collects insurance money, then pays it to their own medical care providers at inflated rates. But even more insane is that United also owns a company that supplies medical loans to doctors and patients. So if United denies to pay your medical bill and you have to go into debt to afford your treatment, they make money off that too. The healthcare system in the United States has a lot of problems, and the United Health Group makes money off all of them. But while United plays a part in a troubling industry, other companies create industries that harm even more people.
This is a man who smokes Marlboro cigarettes.
Nah, I'll never understand, bro. Like, to each his own, it's your life, bro. But me personally, I'll just never smoke a cigarette in my life. Never, bro. It's each your own, though. Like, you do it, you do it. I know people going through stuff, and just me personally, I just don't see, like, the point of it. Like, it's just really, like, you're really just weakening your own body, bro, by putting hell in this, bro. And this for somebody who used to indulge in vapes. I used to indulge in vapes, yes. But cigarettes, I just feel like I never, especially just because of how it tastes and how it smells. Like, I never tasted it, but I can imagine how terrible it tastes. I know people that use these every day on a daily basis and are like deep in it, and like the smell is just unbearable, dude. Like, come on, bro. I never really understood the appeal of cigarettes, even before e-cigarettes were a thing.
What kind of a man is he?
In 1954, tobacco conglomerate Philip Morris created the Marlboro Man, the most influential marketing campaign in history. Rather than advertising through information, Marlboro advertised through lifestyle. The Marlboro Man was masculine, rugged, and free, unconcerned with non-manly things. like getting cancer. See, in the earlier 1950s, studies began linking smoking to lung cancer, and sensing danger, all the top tobacco CEOs met up at a hotel. They knew they needed to work together, but they also knew advertising alone wouldn't save them, and neither would attacking the anti-smoking research. What they needed to do was take control of the science. In a full
Like, how do you take control of the science when your product is essentially just, it's literally the main reason for cancer? Like, bro, it's literally the main reason for people's losing their lives, dude. How do you battle that? How?
page advertisement ran in over 400 newspapers, the Tobacco Bros gave a frank statement to cigarette smokers, where they cast doubt on the current research and announced their very own Tobacco Industry Research Committee, which would be run by scientists of unimpeachable integrity that they hand-selected. The totally unbiased committee worked tirelessly to defend tobacco.
More doctors smoke Camels. You'll feel better when you change to
Philip Morris launched light and low-tar cigarettes to give smokers a safer alternative to quitting. But these products were just as bad, and Philip Morris knew this. They even tweaked the product to make it hit harder by freebasing it, a chemical process you may recognize from things such as crack. They also tried their best to quietly target the youth, saying today's teenager is tomorrow's potential regular customer. But despite—
Damn, to say that is absolutely ridiculous. Now, bro, if you're gonna quit, just quit, bro. You gotta just quit cold turkey. I know it's not that simple, but if you're gonna quit, just quit cold turkey, bro. Don't even bother using all those fake pens, those fake vapes, or whatever, bro. Like those ones that don't have any tobacco in them or any actual what do you call tobacco or what's in vapes, bro? I forgot. Nicotine. Like nicotine free, like smoke. Like that's just still putting you in the mindset. Now it does work for some people. Like it does work for some people, but at that point you just gotta quit, bro.
Despite their PR efforts, Big Tobacco was getting cooked, and in 1994, Congress called them in for questioning in what would become one of the most infamous moments in corporate history.
Let me ask you first, I'd like to just go down the row, yes or no. Do you believe nicotine is not addictive?
Artlist Studio is here, and it has controls built with video creators in mind, so you can intuitively direct.
I don't know how you can defend this, bro. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what way you could defend, like, cigarettes, like it being healthy for you. Like, you doing it, okay, it's your own choice. But defending that it's healthy, it's crazy. I don't know.
I believe nicotine is not addictive, yes.
I don't believe that nicotine or our products are addictive.
I believe nicotine is not addictive.
I believe that nicotine is not addictive. I believe that nicotine is not addictive.
And I too believe that nicotine is not addictive.
But did you notice how they all said believe? This was a legal trick to avoid being punished for lying under oath, and it did work. None of these guys went to jail, but after 2 years of backlash, all of them had lost their jobs. In 2006, a court ruled that Big Tobacco had lied, misrepresented, and deceived the American public in every way physically possible with—
You think? Bro, they literally have deceived everybody into just taking these cancer sticks. Literally, bro. Come on, dude.
Little, if any, regard for individual illness and suffering. As punishment, they had to put corrective statements on their packaging. Tobacco still kills over 7 million people a year. That's over 19,000 a day. Philip Morris's Marlboro Man changed the world, but 5 of them are now dead from smoking-related illness. Based off body count alone, Philip Morris may be the most evil company ever. But what if evil was about more than just fatalities? A lot of people accuse the 13—
Yo, who could be more evil than selling cancer? Like, who could definitely be more evil? Who could be more evil than this, bro?
Asset management company BlackRock of buying up the single-family housing supply, pricing out normal people from ever owning a home. But they're only directly involved in other forms of real estate. There's a different company that—
Yo, that house, these containment or array of houses look like that one cult movie, or like if you drive inside of the community, you can't get out. You know what? Yeah, I know what movie I'm talking about. I don't know what it's called, but it looks exactly like this, bro. This is like a cult, bro. I would never step foot in this community. Yo, every house looks perfectly aligned. Fuck no, bro. There's barely any spaces between the fucking houses.
It's really buying the house you want, and it's actually the company that created BlackRock, Blackstone. They named it like that just to be annoying. Blackstone is the biggest landlord in the United States, using their infinite money supply from rich investors to swoop up housing specifically after market crashes. To Blackstone, the housing shortage is great news because it gives them pricing power, allowing their rents to grow much faster than inflation and sometimes at double the market rate. Blackstone also formed a company called Invitation Homes that now holds the largest number of single-family rentals in the US. In 2024, they had to refund $48 million for scamming their renters with junk fees and misleading them about eviction policies after the CEO had instructed staff to juice this hog. There are plenty of other turbo landlords outbidding normal people for homes and plenty of other tactics they use to milk their tenants, like monopolistic AI-powered rent pricing services and ignoring repairs. But according to these companies, they're actually the good guys.
If we think the American dream is embodied in a suburban home with a yard and a white picket fence, then I think we're making the American dream much more accessible.
Rent your American dream.
You can rent the American dream.
But to be fair, of the $2 trillion of US homes sold in 2024, corporate overlords only bought 0.3%. Their purchases are concentrated in certain neighborhoods, so if you're in the Sun Belt or living in a mobile home, you might feel their wrath, but companies like Blackstone didn't create the cost of living crisis. They just found a way to profit off it. But this next company is evil in every possible way. In 1996, Purdue Pharma launched a painkiller called OxyContin.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I just fucking zoned the fuck out, bro. I just zoned the fuck out. Bro, I'm sorry, but there were no comments here right there, bro. Bro, I genuinely just zoned the fuck out right there. Now, whatever they just said just went over my head. And that specific time frame, like maybe 2-3 minutes. Just had to let y'all know.
During the release party, Purdue owner and cartoon villain Richard Sackler said the new drug would bring a blizzard of prescriptions that will bury the competition. And he wasn't lying. Purdue launched a massive Oxy marketing campaign with an army of sales reps incentivized with large bonuses. They went over to doctors and falsely claimed that Oxy's addiction risk was less than 1% and that
was plain out lying, like flat lying, bro. This is the equivalent of putting some shit on God when you know you wrong, bro. Come on, bro.
Normal signs of patients being addicted, like asking for higher doses and early refills, didn't mean they were addicted. It meant they were pseudo-addicted. And the solution...
Yo, the type of counter arguments that these companies be coming up with is absolute insanity. Pseudo-addiction? You might as well just call it addicting at that point.
...was a higher dose. Purdue held conferences and flew out thousands of doctors to tell them how awesome OxyContin was, and the drug started bringing in billions. But there was one small problem. In 2001, a prosecutor gave a conservative estimate that Oxy had killed 59 people in his half of the state. Richard Sackler responded to this in a private email, saying, "This is not too bad. It could have been far worse."
That's crazy, bro. They actually have, these are evil people, like genuinely, bro. That's not too bad. Bro, any death from your, like if I created a product and I created at least even one death, bro, that shit would weigh on me a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
It got far worse. More and more people began getting addicted, and Oxy overdoses were kinda becoming a serious issue. On top of that, in 2007, Purdue was forced to pay a $600 million fine for false advertising. Richard Sackler's PR strategy of hammering on the abusers in every way possible didn't seem to be working, because by the 2010s, all of this negative publicity was hurting the Oxy market, but Purdue had one genius plan to recapture lost sales.
Your perfect domain.
Yo, I'm getting tired of these fucking ads, dude. These ads have to go, dude.
They hired McKinsey. McKinsey is a management consulting company. They get paid an insane amount of money to tell businesses what to do. When Walmart hired them in the early 2000s, they told the company to cut costs by dropping employee benefits. When they worked with Allstate Insurance, they invented the legendary deny button. So needless to say, McKinsey and Purdue Pharma were the perfect match. McKinsey cooked up what they called the OxyContin Sales Engine Turbocharge Plan. It involved
birds of a flock together. Man, whatever you say about that shit, man. Like two evils that combine to create something even more evil is just the scariest thing ever, bro. Come on, dude. This is the only way they could have saved their shit.
Advertising how Oxy reduces stress while countering the emotional messages from mothers with teenagers that overdosed. McKinsey also suggested giving refunds to pharmacies for every customer.
Yo, is this like some sort of like advertisement. Like, bro, why is bro sitting on the ground like this? Walgreens, what do we got going on here?
Customer who got addicted. But even Purdue was like, bro, come on, that's too far. There's no way you just said that. With McKinsey's help, Purdue went on a generational marketing run, and opioids were printing them money. But by 2019, they were facing some lawsuits. 1,000 lawsuits.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
This is not too bad. It could have been far worse. $2 trillion.
Yeah. Throw away the whole fucking company, dude. Throw away the whole entire fucking company. You're not getting over all those lawsuits. After the 2.2 trillion, the company might as well not even exist. It doesn't exist after that. You're going at least a couple trillion negative.
Of lawsuits.
A couple trillion negative is absolutely diabolical.
Purdue declared bankruptcy, and in 2020, they were found guilty for conspiracy to defraud the United States and offering illegal kickbacks to doctors. They reached a $7.4 billion settlement, with $6.5 to be paid by Richard Sackler's family. Luckily, they've stashed away a lot more than that, so they'll be fine. The supplier of the raw ingredients for the opioids was actually a name you might recognize: Johnson & Johnson, the company known for bangers like putting asbestos in—
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Have you ever had Johnson & Johnson baby lotion, bro? That shit smells wonderful and it's good for your skin, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't try the baby powder or the baby oil. Yo, freaky ass, man. Why you got baby? Matter of fact, why you have baby oil in your shit right now, dude? You got baby oil, you a freaky ass. Something about you we don't know about, man. Just know that. It's something about you that we don't know about. But the baby lotion is acceptable.
Baby powder, aggressively selling cancer-worsening drugs, and making the Wish.com version of the COVID vaccine. They had to pay $5 billion. A few other opioid—
Who would in their right mind buy a Wish.com COVID vaccine? Let me know. Let me find out y'all buying pseudo COVID vaccines off of eBay or some shit. That's just like that's just pure foolery at that point.
Opioid pushers added another 21, and McKinsey paid $650 million. No one from these companies went to jail, except for one guy at McKinsey for obstructing justice. Not only did these companies' schemes cost hundreds of thousands of lives, but they also permanently damaged trust in the entire industry. If you wonder why people are skeptical of medicine and pharma, this is why. Purdue is the most evil company of the modern age, but to find the most evil company ever, we need to go back in time. Spices are something you take for granted today, but back in the 1600s, they were the ultimate status symbol. Displaying your spices was like displaying gold bars, but their supply mostly came from a handful of islands.
Somebody said, how much spice you got, bro? Nah, bro. I got that Tahita, bro. What you got? Bro, I got these pepper flakes, dude. What you got, bro? Bro, I got cinnamon, dude. So they out here really trading spices out here, dude. What? It's crazy how the economy's way of showing value has evolved. Back then it was spices. Then it was like, what was after that? Gold? Like pieces of gold. Like people were out here carrying chunks of gold in their back pocket. Like, bro, what the fuck, bro?
In Indonesia, and the Dutch wanted in on this. So they went to their top merchants and said, here's how we're getting those spices. All you guys will merge together to form one massive company. We'll call it the Dutch East India Company. And for funding, we'll get a bunch of investors to pull together money for you. In exchange, they'll get a piece of your bounty, your supply, your...
Oh, hell nah. You see I tried to cross out bounty? What? You're not going to sneak that bounty in there like we didn't hear that, Brody. Bounty? So if I take this, I'm getting sniped?
Stock? Yes, we'll call it stock. They'll own stock in your company. Alright, now that we invented capitalism, go conquer Indonesia. Sure. Oh wait, one more thing. You want to use...
Bro, I hear those Fortnite footstep sounds. The shit is too recognizable, bro. Once I heard them, I automatically knew what it was.
It's the army. In 1621, the Dutch East India Company massacred 90% of the Bandanese population.
Are you trying to tell me something, bro? We just saw a bunch of stuff getting blown up by turrets and shit. Now they're showing me turrets in an ad. Are we serious?
Then they enslaved all the survivors, which was only like 1,000 people, so they imported more slaves from all around the world to run their spice.
Yo, just a bunch of black, but that's crazy, bro. White man so black, dude. They black as hell. Oh my god, that's sad, but bro, they black as hell. Now they could very well just be like people that are darker of color, but from the way I'm looking at it, they look like black people.
Monopoly. They went on to conquer the majority of Indonesia, take Sri Lanka for its cinnamon, and run up a colony in South Africa, all while destroying entire villages and burning down rival crops to keep their market dominance. These brutal conquests gave the Dutch all the spices they ever wanted, but the British wanted in on this too. So they started the British East India Company and conquered India with an army bigger than Britain's actual army. Then they started selling opium to China, which led to mass addiction. China was like, stop. The British East India Company was like,
so if you even retaliate a little bit, you're getting cooked. You're getting your shit blown up with an opium war. Bro, that's actually terrible. The war ended 20 years later. I never knew how long these wars actually were. The slightest bit of retaliation. Like, bro, that's terrible, bro. It's like those people that scale fish for a living. Like, whenever the fish, you know what I'm saying, moves a little bit too much, which it's designed to do. You know when a fish just flops when it's out of water? Like, you know when they're scaling the fish flop a little too much, they chop this motherfucking head off, dude. Like, bro, that's exactly how it is.
Back in India, after facing 100 years of land seizures, economic destruction, and racism, the locals revolted. The British East India Company destroyed this rebellion with mass executions and village burnings. But their atrocities were becoming a bit too mainstream, so Britain dissolved the company in 1874 and took control of India itself. The East India Companies were uniquely evil. Other companies used slave labor, but the East Indias ran their entire empire on it. Some companies invade countries, but the East Indias destroyed countries. Modern corporations run aggressive pharmaceutical sales tactics, but the East Indias did it first. But all of these companies have one thing in common. They were driven by the exact same pursuit. It's a pursuit that's done incredible things for humanity, but go too far, and humanity pays the price. The two most evil companies ever are long gone now, but the endless pursuit of profit is very much alive.
Damn, that was a good ass video, bro, though. That was a great video.